Secret friends, unite!
Welcome to the Secret Friends Unite podcast, episode 485, $5 footlongs. This is your guide to the geek side, and I am one of your hosts, Todd Oxtra, joined by the churlish one, pickleball champion of Greater, Low Side, Middle, Central, Grand Rapids.
Love it. By the way, your $5 footlongs are, I think, due to inflation, $9.50. It's rough.
Now they have $5 or 5 foot long cookies and other things, so they've made up for it by adding more value added snacks.
Healthy America. Anyway, we're joined by an extra special friend today. It's Joe Moran, Mr. Badbit himself, back in the slot. What's going on?
Right. Can I cuss?
Not
you
too
know
much.
what?
I'll bleep it out. Let me see if I can bleep it out.
Oh,
yes. You did good. You did good bleeping last time.
Let's go.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. All right. Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about Deadpool, you guys. I really can't wait.
Oh, yeah. We are ready to roll. This is essentially the coup de grace. This is the final death throes of the Fox Marvel universe. We're leaving on a high note. Thank God. Scrubbing Dark Phoenix from our brains like a certain Cassandra Nova. And we are ready to talk about Deadpool Wolverine, folks. It will be spoiler filled. So not one of the people that spent $200 million to see it this weekend. Go see it, then come back and talk. But in the meantime, you can listen to the rest of the show, and we'll talk about all the cool things because this was Greek.
Yes, it was Christmas. Well, it was because of the Olympics, and we won't talk about that open ceremony.
That's true.
People are flipping their wigs over.
Dude, it was dope. They like how they shot like the France flag out of like fireworks or whatever. That was awesome.
I'll bet it was super cool. But yeah, I heard there was some controversy, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yes, we're not going to talk about. But
go ahead, please.
Christmas, because we're also going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con. So I don't know how we got so lucky.
Oh my God.
Saying things are happening.
The combination of things. But before we do that, if I pardon my zinger, if I might, we got some bills to pay, and we do that by talking about our fantastic Secret Friends Unite Patreon squad. These are the wonderful people that toss us a couple extra quatloos every month to get exclusive shows, ad-free versions of our shows, Patreon first versions of my show, Code 47, the Star Trek show. Benefits starting as little as $2 a month. New benefits include we have a new monthly Patreon-only podcast that's going to start next week. Mark's got a great new show, Walk Nerdy with Me, when he's talking about his thoughts as he's hitting the streets, walking there in Canada. It's good stuff all around. You can visit patreon.com/secretfriendsunite and try us out for 7 wonderful free days. And see how you like our stuff. And if you like it, we invite you to stick around. The folks who have been with us, who make it all possible, and our friends with benefits level, John Sedorf, the fantastic Phoenix Sisters Entertainment, my dear friend Kelly and her business partner, Crayley, Brendan Myers, Corey and HD, and Matthew Keel. Top tier folks, the fantastic BFFs, the nice family of the Twin Cities, Sean, Stella, and Henry. Love y'all and appreciate your support. So again, patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. 7 days for free, fun, great content, ad-free, early versions, new stuff all the time. Let's party. Let's effing go. See, I don't have a beat button, so
yeah.
Joe and I would have to coordinate.
Yes, and we go to We Got This Covered. June 1970. I'm going to describe this, and then I'm going to have Charlie try to tell me all about this cover, Joe. So let's see where it goes.
Yeah, and Joe can jump in. You're a Spider-Man guy as well, so please.
So Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 1970 was probably the prime time. Issue 85. This cover is pretty fantastic. We've got Spider-Man covered in a web with like some
it's
things
a net
at the bottom pulling him.
It's like a mesh net, so it's not a web, but it's like a mesh net. It's yellow, so maybe it's just yellow rope. I'm thinking it's rope, but still, that wouldn't really contain Spider-Man, so that's weird.
Yep. But revealed at last, the schemer's secret. Kingpin says, nothing can save you. But at the bottom, it says, what is the schemer's secret? So it's like a follow-up question. You talked about a secret. What is that secret? possibly the greatest comic magazine surprise of the year. I know nothing about this comic. I couldn't find any details about the Schemer's secret. Charlie, what was the Schemer's secret?
I've got it. It's not a surprising secret, but this is the first secret identity of Richard Fisk, the Kingpin's son.
He is a schemer?
Yes. He is wearing a mask that obviously in animated form looks just like a human face, but really if you wore a mask that was supposed to look like a face, it would be like Michael Myers' mask, which was really William Shatner. So really, maybe it's William Shatner. But no, this was Richard Fisk in an attempt to overthrow his father. You do see, I love this. This is one of those comic scan images where someone has written in pencil some numbers. So we have a 3, 2 slashes, and another 3. That's probably the news vendor. That's his code to be like, time to throw this one away. But you see the Kingpin. This is John Romita Sr. art, which is, to me, the guy of that era for Spider-Man, in my opinion. I prefer him over Ditko. That's personal preference. You see the Kingpin flanked by his wife, Vanessa, who has the awesome Reed Richards salt and pepper temples, which is a kind of unusual look for a woman.
Yeah, the wisdom temples, right?
Is that? I you know what? I like that. I had that for a while back in maybe 2007, and then thanks to my ex-wife, now my hair's so gray.
You're very wise now.
Yes, very, very wise now. But yeah, the Schemer was simply Richard Fisk did in the 80s go on to be the Rose, who was partnered with the Hobgoblin of that time, and that 80s time frame is particularly my favorite because that's when I started reading.
So this is Kingpin's brother or son?
Son. It's his adult son.
But he's got like a gray streak too. How old is his son?
Yeah, I just told you it's a mask. It is a
he has a mask with
it is a flesh-like mask of such apparent quality that you would not realize.
Is he bald like his dad then in real life?
It's got a regular head of hair. So yeah, there's no great explanation as to how anyone would look at the Schemer's mask and think he was a person. So Joe, you're a Spider-Man guy as well. Where do you land with Spidey of this era? Are you familiar, vaguely familiar, not at all familiar? Where do you land?
Not at all familiar, but I love the suit.
Yeah, it's a great suit. Big yellow cape, green bodysuit. Not sure if it's a two.
But the Spidey suit or Schemer suit?
Spidey suit. Spidey
right.
suit. No.
Yeah, it's the classic. The spider on his chest, it's a little bigger. That's the only thing that really varies a lot with the classic red and blue. Plus the underarm webs were not super common, though. It almost looks like he's got him on one side of this picture, which is weird. If you look at his arm, his right arm looks like he's got him. His left arm, he looks like he doesn't. I don't know. But
I would fire the artist for that mistake.
Well, it was, gonzo. But anyway, love the era, but still, again, written and scripted by Stan Lee. So you get things like the Schemer is the surprise of the year. I don't even know if Richard Fisk was a character apart from the Schemer at this point. Therefore, how would it be a surprise?
You know, Schemer? I wonder if Dora the Explorer said Schemer. Great name.
No scheming.
Now we have a character, Schemer, no scheming.
Oh my god!
maybe Kingpin said that. Maybe where it came from.
Well, I've got a different best surprise of the year, and this might surprise you because the person in question was quite a bit older than this. But Vanessa's real identity is Madam Web, our senior news correspondent, who was 70 years old when this issue came out, but it was still her. She was posing. She was posing for comic book covers back then. But these days she works for us at a very fair wage. She's usually parked at the corner of Hollywood and Vine in Los Angeles, California, bringing us all the hottest news and scoops. So let's see about making that happen right now.
Now it's time for Madam Web's rumors and news. Take it away, boys.
Thank you, Madam Web. I've heard, Madam Web, they hired you to be a bouncer at Comic-Con. Now, from what I understand, you took a little bit of venom from Bane. You bulked up, and people thought you were. They thought you were China from WWE. Of course, she's dead. So it's a weird thing. Maybe they thought you were the child of China. We don't know. But you know what? Don't hurt anybody. Keep it in line. Keep it good. And thank you for your service.
I love it. Good deal. All right. Well, speaking of thank you for your service, we're going to get, spoiler alert, if you've seen the season finale of The Boys, which is now 2 weeks past, we do find out that Captain America's evil twisted cousin Soldier Boy did not die at the end of season 3 because he's in a tube. But Todd, I'll let you tackle this one because of your very strong feelings about things that are called prequels. The Boys has given us one of those, and I think that Soldier Boy might be involved. What's the deal?
Yeah, Joe. So are you caught up on The Boys, or is that?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So awesome. We can all have total speculation about this. But yeah, we're getting a prequel, and I like the fact where this is going. This is essentially like the beginning of the superhero era for Vought. Obviously they didn't last they basically, because of their scientific experiments and things like that. Soldier Boy was essentially the first real hero in this universe. And because of that, he is a throwback character. And obviously now to see him, this show is supposed to happen in the past, 50s era. We're going to see him in his prime, probably smoking a lot of cigarettes, asking for women to get him his coffee, probably
or
a
asking
Playboy
them
club.
for other things that you don't want to hear him ask for.
I imagine like Vought has like a Playboy club equivalent. It's going to be fantastic. And then we're also getting Stormfront is going to be involved. And obviously Stormfront came as a hero, but we found out basically she was a Nazi. So I'll be curious of how she plays in this story. But
what an interesting thing about Stormfront is that of cosplays we were acquiring back then, my wife got a Stormfront cosplay. But it was when my wife was 100 pounds heavier than she is now. So it's in a box in the garage, and maybe it should just go the way the dinosaur. Because that's quite an evil villain. I know you want to dress up like that.
Yeah, that's not a good one. But basically, at this point, we don't know when this is going to happen, but they're going to explore more of the golden age of heroes, and this should be interesting because we're probably going to get introduced a lot of characters that we've not seen before from that era, kind of like the old Watchmen team or the JSA.
Right.
It's going to be a lot of interesting politics, how Vought was done, and especially how they used media and marketing in the 50s. So maybe Mad Men, maybe they'll bring back Don Draper in. He'll do like ad campaigns.
They're definitely going to be a Mad Men. Lean, because a lot of the Boys is about social media, the toxicity of it, how it divides us, and so when I take a look at this, it's like the air of American capitalism at its all-time peak, the 50s, and like seeing what they feel is the actual lens of the time. Like they do a really good job of this is what they say, this is what it actually feels like. And so I'm really interested to see how they tackle that with Soldier Boy and Stormfront, which is she's like a really evil villain, but she's a really great character. So I can't wait to see what she does and how she could have very much a Homelander aesthetic of you hate her, but every time she's on the screen you love her, that actor's ability. So it's awesome to have villains it's you love to hate.
That show is ripe for a rewatch. But when this is going into production, and we know we're not getting the last season of The Boys for 2 years, when would we see this? I guess my question too.
I think shortly after.
Yeah, shortly after that.
A year after. Yeah,
okay.
I think a year after for sure.
Okay, gotcha. Keeping that franchise cranking.
Good exactly.
Stuff.
It's great. The good thing about this, it starts in the 50s, and since these are humans, not Jedis and things that live forever, the majority of these people are going to be, 70, 80, 90 years old by the time that. So you don't have to worry about Memba berries. Oh, remember that guy? It's just going to be a lot of heroes that we're introduced to that obviously aren't going to make it because. I mean, what's the lifespan of a hero in The Boys? We're introduced to them and typically
15
die.
minutes. Yeah. 15 minutes, 2 episodes exactly, and then Homelander squishes their heads or shoots a hole through their wiener or something.
And we find out Herbert Hoover is actually behind Vought. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
A lot of real people, I think. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, Todd, take us through this next one, this trailer, because you're the DC guy more than I am. But Creature Commandos. This is the first thing that we're seeing out of the James Gunn dynasty. if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Gods and Monsters. When he kicked this off, he basically laid out kind of some of the things that would happen. Obviously, things could change. We could see some of those things drop off. But one of the things he promised was that Creature Commandos, Task Force M, is the first official James Gunn project that he helmed. He's behind this. Basically, I think he even scripted the whole thing. But we're essentially getting a team that comes from a comic from the 1980s called Creature Commandos, where it's essentially like Suicide Squad, but they're monsters, creatures. We've got the Bride, which is basically a Bride of Frankenstein. We do get Weasel, who we were introduced to in Suicide Squad. GI Robot, which is great. We do get a Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Dr. Phosphorus, Alan Tudyk doing the voice. Let's see. David Harbour's doing Frankenstein.
Nice.
And Sean Gunn is doing both Weasel and GI Robot. And there's another female character too.
Isn't she the Medusa?
Nina Mazursky. She is the like a creature from the Black Lagoon type person.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yep. And then we've got Frank Grillo playing Rick Flag Sr. And then Amanda Waller, Viola Davis. Man, that woman, she is stuck in with this character. She loves playing Amanda Waller.
Again.
And yep. I love this. James Gunn does comedy and superheroes very well. He does very well with very unknown characters.
Yeah.
And I saw this. I like the animation style, and I'm all in. This is coming very soon.
Oh, really? Okay.
To Max. I believe this is coming out
December, I believe.
Yeah. So
December.
very soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good deal.
I'm all in.
Yeah. Just in time for the holidays. That's fun. Yeah, I have fallen off watching Harley, and I've not watched the Kite Man thing. Is out now, isn't it? So that's
Yes.
it's really that's in the same. Obviously, it's in the same creative, maybe necessarily creative people, but it's in that same vein. So I should really get caught back up. And Todd, you're way off Harley. You're back a couple of seasons.
I'm in season 2 now. Yeah, I have. I'm getting slowly. It's going to be my night show now because I'll just watch it at night. Yeah.
There you go. And out of what are they, third or fourth season now?
Fourth season, they did the Valentine's special too. So
very much so. So Joe, your thoughts?
Yes. I actually, more times than not, really do enjoy DC animation.
Mm-hmm.
So just looking at the trailer, I don't know anything about them in particular, but like seeing the animation has me very much intrigued.
Yeah.
I like the skull guy. The skull guy, Skeleton Man. Have I seen him in like another animated series?
No. Kind of a crazy dude that got irradiated, and yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah,
I was something was telling me like, could he have been in like the old Batman somewhere? But anyway, yeah, no, right. I know nothing.
Maybe on like that. What was it? Batman the Brave and the Bold? That series where they brought in all the weird villains. Yeah,
perhaps. So like, yeah, I'm interested. I love a good animated flick. So this is definitely on my radar, and it's something I could binge.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
good deal.
Yeah, and I'll say DC did not bring a lot to Comic-Con. They did bring a lot of comics. They did bring out more information about. I have a new trailer on the Penguin series. Other than that, they did not do a lot, and I think that's smart. I think having Superman trailer officially revealed right in the middle of when Marvel does shit. What's that going to do? It's going to be like, oh, we're fighting each other. It's like, Joe, it's like E3, the days of Xbox and Sony going back. We're like, well, crap. Now, you're hurting something, and maybe it's not as good as the other thing. But
probably just get lost, eh? Well, that's good. So, just as a sidebar to that, when do you think they will? I mean, what's the next
Super Bowl.
thing Super Bowl. Okay, gotcha. Because we get Superman May of next year. That's a next summer.
I believe so. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think it's May. Yeah.
That could be that'll be a summer where DC and Marvel go head to head, and I think DC actually has a chance, quality wise, of really holding up against Marvel. Well, cool. Well, this next one is exciting to me. I'll talk in the Geek Easy about how seeing Deadpool spurred us on to watch Loki again. But the center part of both Deadpool and the Loki series is the TVA, the Time Variance Authority. But we've not really seen, and Todd, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not something that's gotten a lot of play in the Marvel comics, the actual monthly comics. But that's
not
changing
now.
Yeah,
I mean, it debuted. The TVA debuted, I believe, in the comics
back in the long
years ago. Yeah,
but it's not. Yeah, it's in the modern era. It's not really been a thing. But we're getting them nudged back into the spotlight because of the things that I mentioned. Being revealed that we're going to have a multiverse of heroes like Spider-Gwen, Spider-Ghost, Gwen Stacy, and Captain Carter in a first look. Revealed by a book that will be drawn by Pepe Perez, who did a Black Cat book, and cover art by the House of X. And a writer is Catherine Blair, who previously wrote for Loki and first introduced the TVA to the MCU. There we go. I was hoping there was connection. Great cover image. I like this too. And kind of a sideways view with multiple characters on different sides of a Borg cube. Basically, what I don't know. What do they call this? What do they call the shape outside of Star Trek? I'm sorry.
A cube,
like
cubism, and
it's just a cube, very cubistic. So this is fun. So yeah, looking to bring in character like Mobius, Ouroboros, Hunter 15, and Sylvie. So yeah, I'm all about this. When are we getting this book? December.
Well, the exciting part, though, this is a team led by Miss Minutes, along with new characters, Sir Seconds and Doc Clock.
Oh my god, that sounds very DC. Sorry,
Yeah.
Those sound like DC characters from the 40s.
Yeah, and this is weird because obviously it's embracing the MCU, but the last time we saw Miss Minutes, she's not a good lady.
She was the villain.
I don't know if this is completely MCU like tied together, or it's just saying we're taking this idea and having fun with it, like a what if or something like that. So
right.
No
I would like if that's the case. I would like for that if that was the case. I really loved Loki season 1 and season 2. So this comic actually gets me very interested in checking it out because I really do love all those characters. And then you got Spider-Gwen in there, so like, hell yes. Yeah.
Everybody love it. Yeah, she's
and Gambit.
Oh, it was almost like I was never there at all. All right. Well, Todd, no, you know what? I'm going to kick this one over to Joe. Main event of the thing that we found personally the most exciting at San Diego. And of course, I watched this morning because reporting of this, because the panel was later in the afternoon, Pacific time yesterday, was it not? So it was just
7:30 PST.
Yeah. So I missed it, or maybe this didn't really drop. But Joe, what happened at the Marvel panel?
Holy crap, man. What didn't happen? I mean,
no kidding.
Sweet Jesus. So the Russo brothers they are directing both Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. I'm going to stop everybody right there going, oh, no, they're going back to the well. Good. I didn't like any of the Russo brothers stuff outside of the MCU. Let's get out of our little Twitter bubble, okay? And understand they have been the best directors for Marvel. And now that they're back has me very excited. And then,
I was going to say the well wasn't poisoned. The other well is poisoned they went to. So we're going back to the well that the water was nice and tasty.
Now, here's the thing where people get... Yeah, this is the thing that I've seen division on. Okay? We now know the villain for both of those movies is Doctor Doom. Played by Robert Downey Jr.
Sherlock Holmes.
Sure, the man that made Sherlock.
Dr. Doolittle.
Dr. Doolittle.
Charlie Chaplin.
That's right.
Right. The treacherous agent in U.S. Marshals in 1998.
That scamp from Weird Science. Not to be confused with
RFK, who eats dogs. This guy does not.
Tasty. No dogs. Oh, my gosh.
No dogs were harmed while this announcement played. Right. I don't know about you guys. Has the multiverse thing panned out for MCU? No. But I've had fun as it's happened. Loki in particular is like the high point for me, introducing all these different variants of different characters. As displayed by Deadpool and Wolverine, you can have the same actor playing a different role and it still work really well.
Right.
So having, RDJ there, I get why people are like, okay. I'm excited. I'm not one of these people that are like, oh man, this ruins, the I am Iron Man moment. No, because he's a different character. and he's a variant, and that I think that is to me obvious. So it's like, no, he's not Iron Man. He is Doctor Doom. Right. So I can make that distinction. I don't blame people that don't or can't. But what this kind of screams to me is them closing the chapter on the multiverse, introducing a big bad, throwing a bunch of characters that you wanted to always see in the MCU but didn't, and then kind of wiping the slate clean and starting from a new canvas after all this ends. So I think this is really exciting. When I saw the news, I literally ran down the stairs to tell my brother, like, just to nerd out with him for a few minutes. It's awesome. It's like, yeah, I get an awesome actor back in a really enticing role. We have, again, the directors that have made some of the MCU's best movies. There is literally nothing to hate here. Everything that they showed on stage yesterday, including the Fantastic Four, actually has me the most excited. But like everything they showed is awesome. So I don't know, Todd. What are your thoughts on all that? Are you one of these Debbie Downers?
Don't be. Come on, Todd. I know it's your nature, but don't do it.
Have fun.
No, and I think the Russo brothers need a win because their stuff post Endgame. Not good. The Gray Man. I mean, it's so ultimately they've done well when they are working on projects that are not the original creations. So I'm excited for this because they worked on Community. They did all these things. I think people thought, why did you bring these guys in to do Captain America? I think they know how to manage this type of project. So I'm very excited. They know how to manage, the impossible and make it happen. Now it's going to be different because the expectation for an Avengers team now will be completely different because at this point, we don't even know who the Avengers are going to be. We're hearing that Fantastic Four and the Thunderbolts will both be in these movies. And at this point, it's going to be weird because it's going to be a lot of the Avengers are going to be characters that are not as embraced and loved. It's going to be, and it's going to be the new Captain America. It's going to be potentially
Ms. Marvel,
Khan.
And Captain Marvel.
While I like these characters, it just feels like there's not like because there's been too much
and that's
Marvel.
Why
now people can't keep up.
Right.
So I was going to say also, I don't think we're going to see Robert Downey Jr. looking like Robert Downey Jr. He's Dr. Doom for a reason. He is going to probably be scarred. This is probably going to be a variant of him where things went horribly wrong. And instead of being positive post, his being kidnapped and things like that, he basically said, oh, I almost died. I need to remake the world in my mind. Kind of like we saw in Age of Ultron, but he's going to basically essentially go total despot and remake the world in his image.
Yeah.
And that's where we get Dr. Doom.
I love what Robert Downey Jr. said. Different mask, same task. Yeah. And I was like, oh, peace in our time. Right. And I'm like, that is really awesome.
So
Doombots, come on, who makes armor? Doombots.
Yeah.
Dooms.
Am I getting that he's Dr. Doom, but he's actually a Tony Stark variant, or is he Victor Von Doom? That's what I'm missing here.
No, he's going to be Tony Stark. It's just I just don't see where it's going to be. I think it's totally going to be a variant of, and he crosses over to make him. It would be a bridge too far to say, "Hey, I happen to be a distant cousin of Tony Stark. He just happened to look the same."
Yeah, all right. So I guess I was a little hazy. Okay.
No,
so
I think he's Victor Von Doom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What accent is he going to use? Is he going to come up with a crazy Dracula accent?
Well,
blah blah.
He's already
Von Doom.
He's gonna do his old British accent. He's gonna look cute doing it.
It's funny you should mention because after seeing Deadpool and one of the big cameos that we'll talk about in a moment here, we went back and watched Fantastic Four 2005, which I always enjoyed. But then, Dr. Doom is the villain of that, and is it Julian McMahon who is from Breastmen?
Charmed.
No accent. No accent at all. So that is, there you go. So it can be done. It can be Victor Von Doom.
Foreign country in the Marvel MCU that nobody knows of. Call it Slobobia, Kerplakista. I don't know.
Whatever.
I like Slobobia. Yeah. That's my pick. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so, I think he's Victor Von Doom. I think a lot of it is like all magic based and whatnot.
Joe, you want to make a bet?
Gonna put it on the line? Put it on the line we got 2 years. So yeah.
I think a bet where so you guys are both for it. I'm saying, are you, Charlie? Are you thinking it's going to be
I think it would be a bridge too far to change the identity of Doctor Doom. So I'm going to say it's also Victor Von Doom. He just
here's the
be a third cousin or whatever.
So the winner in this case, if you guys both win, I guess then I have to you have to make me watch or read something or play something totally horrible, or that you pick for me. Your choice. Same thing. If I win, then I got to choose for both of you. I can pick different things for both of you to watch or play.
Todd, we're already maybe watching that documentary about Canon Films next week, so I'll have to pick. I started watching one of those. Those are the worst.
So remember, I'll write this down. I will share this, and we'll come back in 2026.
Have fun beating out
if we're still around,
have fun.
Or whenever it gets revealed. So if we get like we get a IMDb that says he's definitely Tony Stark or Victor Von Doom. Yeah. So there you go.
Okay.
All right, I agree.
Shadow of the Earth.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, and by the way, check out the video, folks, of how it's revealed. They had all of these people in cloaks on stage. It was amazing. That's why we have these big reveals on stage.
I love it. Okay, cool. All right, well, let's move on, if that's okay. And I'll go a little bit more rapid fire because Todd, you've not seen these trailers, but I would encourage you to do so.
It's Section 31.
Yes.
Yeah, Joe, jog my memory. Where do you land with Star Trek stuff?
You guys are nerds.
Okay, good answer. Like that.
It's very open, Joe.
Very open-minded. I appreciate your honesty. Well, Star Trek is coming hard and fast with not only 3 productions, 2 new seasons, and 4 things, because they don't even mention the 5-minute clip we got for Strange New Worlds, which was a scene in what I'm assuming is the first episode. 3rd season of that is coming out at some point. We did get an announcement for the final season of the animated Lower Decks, which will be on October 24th. So I quickly redrew a schedule for Code 47, our network's Star Trek show. More news about the Starfleet Academy show, which announcing some casting, both not surprising and very surprising. And the Section 31 telefilm that's coming out. So Todd, real quickly, you saw the Section 31 trailer, paragraphs worth of thought on it. What did you think?
Oh, I think this looks amazing. This is like the Dirty Dozen Star Trek movie, which I didn't know I wanted. I love it. Georgia, we've got Giorgio coming back, essentially bringing back her bad self to lead, or maybe just be a part of a Section 31 mission with this ragtag group of people. Yeah. I think this looks badass. I am very excited for this.
I can't disagree. It was mentioned on one of our Discords as being the Suicide Squad of Star Trek. So kind of a crazy different look.
And Sam Richardson is involved. Anything Sam Richardson's in, it's just
he's great. Someone did point out that he has kind of different colored eyes. He is the same race that was played by the late David Bowie's wife, Iman in Star Trek 6, like a Kamaloid, someone who changes their appearance. So I will admit I did not pick up on that. We also got, and again, in rapid fire motion, I had mentioned Strange New World Season 3. We got a great segment, which Todd, I won't spoil for you because it's kind of a fun watch. Good. And then we did get an announcement of a live action Star Trek comedy. Todd, this is something I feel like you've talked about being interested in the past, but it's in the work from Justin Simeon, who I feel like I should be more familiar with him, but I didn't really read. But Tawny Newsome, who is Beckett Mariner on Lower Decks, who I've met a couple of times at Star Trek cruises and various events. She's just a kind of a delightful, fun person. But yeah, a Star Trek sitcom of a type. So I think that's pretty awesome. Star Trek Starfleet Academy, we've known it's been in production. We know that that's a show that's going to be led by actress Holly Hunter, and also having Paul Giamatti as part of the supporting cast. But we got the ads of the as a regular character, the spectacular Tig Notaro, who's coming from Star Trek Discovery. Oded Fehr, who played Admiral Vance on Star Trek Discovery.
What was his role in The Mummy? He was the Mummy from The Mummy?
He was the Mummy's agent. Mary Wiseman, who is Tilly, who I'm not terribly fond of, but you know what? Tilly has lovers out there, whatever. All 3 characters coming from Star Trek Discovery. Again, not my favorite Star Trek show, but regardless, it spun us off into this. But the big news is the return And this is the second Star Trek project he's taken on in recent parlance. Robert Picardo is the emergency medical hologram from Star Trek Voyager. Don't know how that. It's funny. It's been 900 years, and they've written into his program that he will have aged slightly. But I've met Bob Picardo several times at the cruise, Star Trek Las Vegas. We've had chats, me, and April. He is a wonderfully funny guy. Todd, I told you the story, didn't I, in regards to his role on The Wonder Years, the conversation we had about that?
Yes.
Coach Cutlip, he said he played Coach Cutlip on that show as Richard Nixon with about 60% of his intelligence. What a great quip. Yep. Robert Picardo is awesome. So I'm fired up about that. So yeah, Todd, go watch those trailers. Maybe it'll make a Lower Decks lover out of you. Probably not. I know that's the rock you're standing on, that you don't care for it, but it's a lot of fun.
I will probably watch some more. I mean, I've opened up to some other things. My heart's been opened up to other things like Rick and Morty. Didn't really care for Rick and Morty, and then I got into that. Really like Rick and Morty. Just on Justin Simeon, he actually is behind. He directed Dear White People, so he's a very talented dude.
Okay,
so I think he's gonna be more like the showrunner and head writer. Yeah. I still don't understand the point of this show.
Me neither.
They work at a resort, and then Star Trek people are going to be around them, so it's like a work comedy where their clients are all like Star Trek Federation people on vacation.
Yeah.
So what's that comedy about the resort where people die?
Oh, the White Lotus.
Is this going to be the White Lotus of Star Trek?
Yes. But like I love Tawny, being that I've met her, and she looks
just like her character. I didn't realize they did that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you remember obviously the Strange New Worlds episode where her character and then Jack Quaid's character crossed over.
I'm glad they did that then.
And they nailed it. Yeah, exactly. Kind of set the tone. So I'm very excited about all of that Star Trek news. And again, for more very serious, heavy duty, in-depth coverage on that, join us over next week on Code 47 with Peter and myself and Aaron. Will discuss that a little bit more in depth. So, Joe, thanks for your patience. We'll stop talking about Star Trek now.
It hurt me.
And we will move on. Where do we finish off, Todd?
Oh, one last story, and it's not even really just maybe it came out of San Diego Comic-Con, but one of my favorite pseudo documentaries is The Toys That Made Us.
Oh, yes.
There's been 3 seasons, and I loved them all. Everybody has a toy line they love. The Barbie one is spectacularly awesome. The fact that Barbie started off as a Russian sex doll, which is great. Love it. Find out more about that. That headline. That's a headline that leads, but we are getting 2 more seasons. And quite honestly, it's going to be interesting what they cover because they've covered a lot of the big ones. But the company behind this, actually, they've gone behind the scenes. They've basically created new toys, including RoboForce and Biker Mice from Mars. So basically brought those toy lines back, which is kind of fun. Right. But I don't know what they're going to cover, but I think there's a niche that they can go through. Maybe they'll combine a couple of things if there's not enough on the vine. But I love these just pseudo documentaries. And at this point, The Movies That Made Us is fantastic as well. So if you've not seen those, check them out. They're wonderful. Any interest or a toy line you'd like to see them cover in season 4 or 5?
Oh my gosh. I mean, like I said, I like, and again, noted in your headline, digging into the potentially of talking about the Sectars and the Silverhawks, maybe. Mask. Did we get one on Mask?
No, Mask isn't big enough.
I love Mask, and it's something that there's barely been a hint. Joe, I don't know if you have any familiarity, but that was one for Todd and I in the mid-1980s, that it was just dudes that had vehicles that transformed. It was the Transformers, but they weren't sentient. But it was like, hey, my Camaro has gull-wing doors and it flies. That was the main dude.
Elon Musk watched a lot of it, actually. That's
right. That's where it came from.
Oh, boy. Can I tell you guys something? I saw, and I'm not joking, 5 Cybertrucks the other day.
Oh, gross. Oh, what? I've seen one. I've seen one or two. I've seen one or two
in the same day.
I've seen one on the road.
And a lot of them have wraps on them. Let me tell you something. You could put a cat turd in a box. It's still going to be a cat turd. It's one of the most ugliest cars I've ever seen.
Oh, you know what? That guy's time is coming. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So Joe, is there a toy line you would like to see them cover off on?
Oh man, the Ghostbuster toys. Because I remember.
Okay,
I had the Fire Station as a kid.
Nice.
It was like a hand-me-down. So I had a whole bunch of they had the trap and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Nice. I
For sure.
like it. Very
I'm
good.
just looking to see what they covered. And so Star Wars, Barbie, He-Man, G.I. Joe, Star Trek, Transformers, Lego, Hello Kitty, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, My Little Pony, professional wrestling. I think we're going to get Bratz because that was a big deal.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we're going to get like interactive toys like Furby and like Tamagotchi, maybe.
Oh, gotcha.
Kitty Ruxpin.
Oh, very good.
I think we're also going to get like one about superhero toys, not just like the
Okay.
Marvel. And then we
Right.
might get something about Todd McFarlane and his line because
Oh, yeah.
like Spawn toys going through. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
but obviously, and there could be more. I don't know, girl toys. What other girl toys are there? I mean, we're the wrong audience, but maybe you were.
Monster High.
Doll?
Monster High is very big right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
American Doll.
American Doll was
maybe?
definitely an article.
Yeah.
Todd, just as it's a something that I'd like to do, where would viewers find the show so they could catch it?
It's Netflix. It will be on Netflix.
Okay.
Yes.
No, but I mean, so all the episodes are there now. The ones they produced. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. It was a
Okay,
Netflix. They produce it, I think, or they're behind it, or they have distribution rights.
But it's out there. They're behind it. All right, cool. Well, good deal. All right. Well, let's that takes us out of the news, Todd. Got to get up my phone, my feeble Uber app, my Fuber app. Time to get us uptown to Scuggsville, Nasty Town. Get in that gross broken down cab from the 1970s. He flips on that AM radio, and all of a sudden there's this advertisement on the airwaves.
Hey, Secret Friends Unite, let me tell you about Zencastr. We use them for our show, and now they're supporting us. Zencastr is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. It's the ultimate web-based podcasting solution. Provides high-quality audio and video podcast production and hosting. With a full suite of professional tools, podcasters can seamlessly record, produce, and publish studio-quality content, all from one dashboard. Being a creator has never been easier. And we chose Zencastr because of the ease of use, high quality output, and it makes it super easy for our guests to come on. We had multiple solutions we tried before, and Zencastr has just been the best fit for us. Why Zencastr? It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sounds and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Have you ever worried what you sound like? Zencastr's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation too. Set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with the click of a button. So if you're interested in making an easy, high-quality podcast just with the click of a browser button, go to zencastr.com/pricing and use my code SFU1. You'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Now back to the show.
Talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me.
We're sitting in the Geek Easy. Cover bands playing, drinks are poured, and we are getting our nerd on. So, Joe, what are you nerding out about this week beyond the obvious?
All right, guys, listen.
Let's party.
It's a video game. It's one that I've been addicted to for the past 2 months. Have you guys ever played poker?
Yes. I've watched it on Star Trek.
I don't like poker in the slightest.
Okay, good.
I'm not a big card guy in at all. I know blackjack, that's it. But let me tell you about our Lord and Savior Balatro, which is a roguelite poker card game that I have sunk more than 100 hours into in the past 2 months.
Oh my.
It's taught me poker. It's taught me the basic card hands. And it's all about getting the high score. It's all wave based. So you have 3 matches per round. And the goal is to get to where the difficulty I'm at, 9 rounds. And it's all about beating the high score. It's all about building your deck up to reach that high score. So there's Joker cards that give you multipliers. There's tarot cards that help turn your cards into different cards or have different abilities. And then there are planet cards that help build certain decks up. So like if I'm going for something where I'm getting a lot of straights per game, I'm gonna try to find planet cards that are gonna level up my straights so that I get more of a bonus when I get that combo. It is a game that is hard to describe and to get you excited when you talk about it. It's only when you start playing it does the dopamine hit start really hitting you.
The trickle.
Because in the first few rounds, I was just like, okay, this is interesting, and it's all about getting that. It's all about that one more round type of methodology, and then you look and it's like, I've been playing this for 2 hours.
It's a good thing you can't gamble in this game, Joe, or like, how much for a Joker? How much is for a Joker? Yeah.
Exactly.
Microtransactions turns into the deal.
And that's the beauty about this game. It is only $15 on PlayStation, Nintendo, I think Xbox, maybe PC, and they are making it on phones. So
I hope it's a paid version. I hope it's just like $5 all in.
That's what
I played the demo on PlayStation, Joe. I love it, and I'm like, I want to play it on the toilet. I want to play it on the toilet.
And that's the other thing. I've been playing it. I think I've split most of the time between the Portal and the TV. So it has been my on-the-go game when it's
so
like
do you
very
clean
slow
your Portal off after you use it? Like,
Of course.
Oh, boy.
You dropped it in the toilet.
No, God forbid. I really love the PlayStation Portal, you guys. Like
I know.
I get it. I host the Trophy Room PlayStation podcast, but like the Portal is actually a really good device. It's like great when you're just on the couch and you just you got something blaring in the background.
It's what the Wii U gamepad dreamed of being, Joe.
Exactly.
Oh, you guys. Oh, you guys.
The
All
Wii
right.
U, the
Only
Wii U
Joe
pad
gets a
walks
pass.
so that the Portal could run. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Only Joe gets a pass for talking about video games on this podcast.
You're right.
Before Charlie,
I'm sorry.
But your time is winding down. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Joe, do you know what Balatro actually means, Joker?
Really?
No.
Yes, or jester in foreign language. Yes, and it's actually pronounced Balatro.
Balatro.
Wow.
Okay.
Fascinating.
Look it up on Wikipedia. They would not lie to me.
Never. All right. What else? What else we got?
Anything else, Joe?
Nothing. I've been so busy at work. Finally, I'm going to have more downtime. I'm very excited.
Nice.
About that.
Good deal.
Excellent. Yeah. All right. Well, I snuck in something last night because we just finished up Community, our watch there. I'd never finished the 6th season.
Oh, yeah.
So we just finished that up.
Yeah, we did that a bit ago as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. So we're looking for something new to watch at night. So trying a little trial and error. And a show I watched was called Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, a show I had heard of, didn't know much about. I put a trailer in the link. I'll include it in the show notes too. But basically a woman, this is kind of like the Scrubs episode where the musical, where essentially the woman has cancer, but now she's hearing people sing. This is kind of that premise where she's this woman, Zoe, she works at a software center. The mom from Gilmore Girls is her boss.
Heather Graham, not Heather Graham. Oh no, what was
Lauren
her
Graham?
Lauren Graham.
Yeah.
I knew there was a.
So
Graham.
it's like a workplace dramedy is the best way to put it, because there's a lot of feeling in the show too. Like her dad is in a catatonic type of state and they don't know why. It happened six months ago. So she's struggling with that. She's struggling with her job, and essentially she's starting to get headaches and things like that. So she's worried that what happened to her dad might happen to her. So she goes to an MRI. While she's in the MRI, an earthquake happens. So, and while she was in the MRI, they were playing a Spotify playlist. And essentially, this is where it gets a little goofy. Essentially, all the Spotify playlists that have ever been made in the world go into her brain.
Of course. Why wouldn't it happen like that?
Yeah. So she's walking through, I think it's San Francisco, because you can see like the Full House and then the long streets. But essentially she starts walking around and then somebody will start singing, but they don't know they're singing, obviously. It's like all in her head in a lot of ways. But it's essentially a gateway to the emotional feeling that either she's having or someone else is having, which is kind of cool. Like, and I'm surprised what they got away with. They got away with using Help by the Beatles. and they go deep, and they covered a lot of good songs. And that's kind of the end. This is like, a lot of shows, how they do it, and then the premise. The premise is really, she connected with a coworker over something where he's feeling immense sadness, but he wasn't showing it in real life. Mm-hmm. So, like, he started singing the song Mad World. Well, obviously, that's not a happy song. So I liked it. It helped her basically through grieving. She had a moment. I don't want to spoil it, but I think it's a very interesting show. I think it lasted like 2 or 3 seasons on NBC. I believe it's on Peacock or Roku now, depending on what you have. I'd recommend it. It's kind of like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. If you watch that show, that's a musical. It's but that's more of a very much a comedy, a musical comedy, which is hilarious. I really like that show too. And that was on the CW. So nice. I love musicals. I like it when they use them in a unique way. This one works. So I definitely check out Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
Nice.
Yeah. And that leads me into something that is a lot less enjoyable if you don't like creepy, weird things, and that is Long Legs.
Right.
So Charlie, you talked about it last week.
I wanted to. This is a movie I've been dying to watch. So tell me about it. Just beware this,
spoiler free ish.
No spoilers, Joe. So this is
I heard if you love Alan Wake 2, you're gonna love this.
Now this will be the second time we talk about this with no spoilers, because I did it a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, but that's all right.
But I would say this is a lot like A Silence of the Lambs. Serial killer, FBI. Blair Underwood is in this, playing like the FBI boss, which I thought was great that he came back. I
did absolutely love that he had a portrait of Bill Clinton in his office.
Oh, that's right. So you know the time.
Yeah, it's 1995.
Early mid 90s. So it's that time frame. The lead FBI, basically investigator for this serial killer called Long Legs, is this woman who, she is potentially autistic in a lot of ways, because her affect is really different than you're used to with a Jodie Foster, where she is knowledgeable, but when she talks, you don't always feel like, I'm confident that she won't go into a catatonic state at any time. It was definitely a very off-putting film in regards to like the unease,
absolutely,
the music, all the things they went through, the imagery. And we know Nicolas Cage is in this movie. He plays Long Legs. It's been out there, but it's creepy. It's not horrific.
It's no Walk at the Beach. And Todd, I'm sure you share my feeling about the twist. Because really right from the beginning, I didn't even know if the character effective in the twist was a figment of the imagination of our main character, just based on the telephone calls that happened earlier in the film. Yeah. I thought, maybe the person on the other end of the phone isn't really there.
Yeah. So that's the thing. There's a lot of things in this movie. Yeah. And a lot of things in this movie are a little bit like, is it leading you? It's a red herring? What's not? Right. But I thought it was effective. It was, when I hear a lot of people like, oh, the scariest movie ever. No, it had great tone, and it definitely did. It wasn't gory.
Yeah.
Wasn't gory. Wasn't horrific.
A little bit here and there. It didn't have graphic violence. I mean, there was a smashed face here, a shotgun blast there.
Well, let's not give anything away about the specifics of it, but I would say not gory, not gratuitous. I think that what they used when they used violence and gore, it was effective. And
suspense. Lots of suspense.
I would say there is a little bit of the supernatural in this. This is all I want to say. Like
that's what I heard. Like if you love Alan Wake, this is probably
So yes, Joe, go see it and pop in.
I'll go right now.
Pop it. Okay. Oh no. Okay.
Hi, Joe.
You have
have
to wait.
fun.
You have to wait. You have to wait till the show's over.
Get your Deadpool Wolverine. Popcorn bucket.
I think we lost him. Oh well. Yes, but Joe.
Is he getting Spider-Man to help us?
I guess. Oh no! Oh, it was,
no, I have a charge phone. That was just an excuse to charge your phone.
He did a Long Legs fake out. Oh, there was no Long Legs fake out, or is there? You'll never know.
So check it out. It's done very well. So it will probably stick around in theaters for a while, but definitely.
I'm looking up the times. Let's see.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. So
go.
that is
Good
it
deal.
for me.
All right, I'll crank through kind of quickly because I didn't have anything dramatically exciting. After we met the FF cast in person, I got watching New Rockstars, which is one of my favorite YouTube channels. I got kind of a breakdown of what the trailer play there was about. I'm back into Fantastic Four fever. I've always loved them. It was funny. April and I were talking, sitting on the couch. Her older brother was the FF fan in her house, so that's where those comics came from that she read some of. My older brother was the FF fan in this house. That's where I got the bug. So I'm going to start reading the Fantastic Four, and I actually put a poll on our Discord this morning because my claim to fame, self-anointed, is that I've read every issue of The Amazing Spider-Man going back to 1962. So I have a year. I have a little less than a year. I have 9 months. So I popped open my Marvel Unlimited, and the question becomes, do I start at the beginning or do I jump to the very best, which would be John Byrne's arc from the 1980s, which ran from issue 239 to 295? Obviously, the John Byrne option is a lot more manageable, but I also really love saying, hey, I know every nook and cranny, but that could take years. So Todd, I know what you're going to say, because you're very much skip the crap. No one can read that much Stan Lee. It just can't be done. You know what I mean?
You don't want to hate the Fantastic Four after this is done, Charlie. Is what I'm gonna say.
Right. I did read a little bit of the first issue, which I've read before. It's already a tough read. I'm not going to lie to you. So I feel like I'm talking myself out of it. But one voice I've not heard, Joe, if you were me, what would you pick?
Dude, go with Fantastic Four. Ride the hype. Ride
the whole thing.
But should he read the whole thing, Joe? Of like 86 years of content?
Yeah, ride the hype. By the time you're done, the movie's out. You know.
So you think I could read 600 issues in 9 months?
I mean, I believe in you.
Wait, that's it, Charlie?
No, I'm sorry. It's closer to 1,000. No, I mean, they took a few years off. They had a volume 1. They stopped in 96 for the Heroes Reborn. They came back. Yeah, that's a tough one. But it's like even that first 100 issues, there's so much Marvel history. Galactus, Silver Surfer, Black Panther, all the associated villains with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dr. Doom, obviously, the Skrulls. So part of me is like, maybe I'll read issue 100 and then I'll do some jump forwards. I don't know. So I go, you know what, if you're listening, go to the Discord. I'll leave it up for a week or so. Because I would love to hear other people's thoughts on what's the best way to go. So that's my hinge, but I'm definitely going to do that. And not surprising, I already mentioned, talking about Deadpool and Wolverine, the TVA spurred us into watching Loki. It's great that it's 2 seasons of 6 episodes each. It did help me decide that further on down the road, I'm going to look at those a little bit more in depth over on our Patreon on the Facts Geek Life, but that's going to be a little bit further down the road. I'm going to break those up and talk about those. So we watched season 1. Holy cow. You get to that 5th episode where they're in the void and you're like, oh my God, it's over already. Because they have the very next one where they square off against Kang, but they don't say his name because isn't he
Victor Timely?
Isn't he the man who won't be named? What does he call himself?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we also started when I saw the Captain America trailer a couple of weeks ago, and Todd made fun of me, and he still will. But we're doing all the MCU films. That's 34 films. The great news is we watched the 34th one already. But we finished watching the Avengers this morning. So we're now, and of course, we watched Captain America, the first one, a couple of weeks ago. So we skipped over that one. So we're now 5 films in. Is that right? I think so. Iron Man, Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor. Cap. Avengers is the 6th one. So we're in 6 of 33.
And you're just waiting to get to
after Endgame. Yes, so just wait. That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard.
There are some I will skip when
I'm trying to be faithful, but it's like I've not watched Captain the Marvels. Like, I haven't watched that one again.
It's not very good, but it's not not like Eternals. I do think in my heart of hearts is a terrible movie.
Yes,
it's god awful.
I think I've seen it twice because I saw it in the theater with a friend because April couldn't make it. And so when it dropped on Disney Plus, we watched it together, and I will never forget her line is, "That was 2 hours of characters I don't give a shit about." That was a direct quote.
You want to hear a funny joke? I was watching it with my best friend because we've watched every single MCU movie together, right?
Yeah.
We waited for this to hit streaming, and we got to spoiler. I don't give a shit. The Stark's the bad guy. We found that turn, and we're just like, so how? Like, and I'm like, oh, it has to almost be done. Like we got maybe like 30 minutes left.
That's the third act, right? Yeah.
And then it's not. We hit pause. We're like, we have another hour to go. Fuck this, and we just turned it off. Oh, sorry, I cursed. We were like,
oh
we
my
can't
God.
do this.
Oh my God.
Joe, you said Stark. It's not Tony Stark.
Right.
It's
right.
Rob Stark. It's Rob Stark. Yeah, exactly. It was
Rob Thomas from
Richard. What's his name? Richard. What the hell's his name? Richard Madden. Yeah, John Madden. It was John Madden all the while.
And we're like, we can't do this. This isn't worth it.
Yeah. So one thing I didn't hit on, like some Dragon Turtles really quick, is the fact that they are going to finally make them relevant. They did say that the Tiamat that landed on Earth that nobody apparently notices is the source of adamantium.
Right.
So that's something they did say in the trailers.
On the other side of it, Eternals 2 canceled. So they're not making another one.
So I also, since we're talking about Loki and Kang really quickly,
please,
how the hell do they deal with Kang now? Are they basically poochied? Are they saying, is it like we see Dr. Doom like deal with him in like 2 seconds, just kills all the Kangs? Is there a time ripper?
I think
all the Kangs are in one building, and he pushes a button and it goes.
I think how Loki season 2 ends could be good enough to close the book on Kang. That's how I read that ending of season 2.
Like maybe Loki said, "Oh, because I'm in control of all the time streams.
No more Kangs."
And like to me, it's like, okay, I could write it in a way where like the TVA is dealing with Kangs.
Okay, so he's just off the board. Yeah.
He's just off the board.
That's what the Eternals are doing. The Eternals are dealing with Kane.
Right. Well, we would have had the Eternals back, but they're locked in the time war with Kang in the pocket
along
universe.
With Harry Styles and
and my sweet Patton Oswalt is Pip the Troll. Aww. But anyway, all right. Well, that takes us out of the Geek Easy. Time to skip out on our tab yet again, because we are needed down in the land down under. Got out my Air Qantas hat, getting us those tickets, because Hologram Tina and the mutants are waiting for the finale of the Summer of X, bringing us to Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's do it.
Welcome to another edition of Thunderdome.
Thank you, Tina. The mutants have been gathered for a topic or game to be entertained, and this week we are putting a cap on the Summer of X, a cap on the Fox Cinematic Mutant Universe, the Fantastic Four Cinematic Universe, the Blade Cinematic Universe, the New Mutants Cinematic Universe,
Elektra, Daredevil,
the Daredevil, Elektra Cinematic Universe, the Ghost Rider Cinematic Universe.
Oh, he didn't even show up. What was that? Was that Fox?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't
Punisher Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, because I guess Fox had everything except for Spider-Man, basically.
Mm-hmm. David Hasselhoff, Nick Fury Cinematic Universe.
That was Fox. You're right. Yeah. The Generation X, the TV movie. Was that Generation
Mutant X? Yeah. I could go on for decades of all the things that are now.
There you go.
Legion. Yeah. So many. But yeah, we're here to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. Spoilers, of course, because this movie, once you even start talking about it a minute in, that's all you're getting is spoilers.
Well,
so this movie is...
I mean, we already did spoilers when you're talking about Dead Universes, because you revealed the 3 biggest cameos. You know what I mean? So
sorry,
you can't avoid it. It's unavoidable. So
it's a Dead Universes. I mean, it doesn't mean that they were in the movie, but we'll go into that. Yeah,
but
they were.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
but they were.
Here's your details in this movie. Directed by Sean Levy. He was not the guy who directed the last film. That was David Leitch. Written by Ryan Reynolds and a few of the others. Zeb Wells, a comic book writer, which is kind of neat. You got a comic book writer involved. This released July 22nd. Earlier, and also in the UK, other regions. 128 minutes, $200 million budget, and I already put in this that basically $233 million internationally, 205 domestic for $400
Number
million.
one, please. Number two.
So number one R-rated film, but obviously, yes, fantastic performance. We'll see how this goes on for the rest of the weeks. It was R-rated, but that quite honestly did not affect the fact that there was an 8-year-old kid in the audience when I saw this film.
I think there was definitely a younger child in that. Fun fact, Kevin Feige did mention it at STCC that because this is considered the 34th film in the MCU series, that series has now earned $30 billion globally, which is just a crazy amount. So Senate Appropriations Committee. Oh,
you know what? Thank you, Eternals, for your service.
My God, yeah, no
man, they hate us. The plot of this movie: Wade Wilson is offered a place in the MCU by the TVA, but instead recruits a variant of Wolverine to save his universe from extinction. And I will say, this movie, I could try to go through everybody in this movie, but I won't. And then you can watch this movie in theaters now. I'm guessing this won't be in Disney Plus for at least 6 months. I think they want to milk this in theaters and then VOD, then Disney Plus. So you know what? If you're not going to see it, so there we go. So that is the movie. And quite honestly, this was a love letter to the Fox cinematic universe. This was
it was beautiful. The credits were beautiful and that
oh yes,
and with of course playing 1999's Good Riddance Time of Your Life by Green Day, which even though we were out of high school at that time, I think high school kids at that time, Joe, you're a bit younger.
It's a college thing too.
Yeah. That was the one of your life is moving from one chapter.
Joe was graduating from kindergarten. Going on.
It was just such a bambino. But yeah, wow. Where do we even get started?
Okay, so I will apply this. This takes 6 years. Takes place. It's 6 years post Deadpool 2,
2018 to now. Yeah.
Yes. So Deadpool has kind of found himself in a rut. He's got his friends, but he has since separated from Vanessa. She's got a new boyfriend, and because he just doesn't know what to do now, he doesn't have I guess I would say a calling or something else like. So that's kind of where the present takes place. But the fact is, Deadpool always typically starts with the current, and then it goes back and explains how he got there. So this movie started with a fantastic opening sequence of hilarity of Deadpool taking on the TVA. You don't know why he's doing it, but we kind of have a feeling that time travel's involved. And I will tell you, the way they dealt with Logan made it was sacrilegious in the best way possible. So good. So sad.
So it
was amazing.
So he digs up the corpse of Logan from the 2017 film Logan, and he's sitting there chatting with this adamantium skeleton with a little bit of skin hanging off of it and still hair and scraps of clothing and the big chest. Are we swearing our way through this? Should I have Joe bleep me? He basically having been chest effed by a piece of wood. Thank you. Oh, close enough.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
Appreciate that.
I tried.
But he when the TVA shows up, he says, "All right, I won't use any of my weapons to fight you," and he then takes the adamantium skeleton and murders 3 TVA agents with it.
The phrase is somewhere along the lines of, "There's 210 bones in the human body, 211 when I'm watching Gossip Girl," which his wife was in. My best friend told me.
Exactly. Yeah.
What? Blake Lively was in Gilmore Girls?
No,
Gossip Girls.
Gossip Girls. Yeah.
That's what it was.
I do lost my train of thought, but anyway,
there was 2 NSYNCs. Bye.
Yes, thank you. 2 NSYNC,
which was perfection.
Which you did see Ryan Reynolds do some of the dance, which is very iconic in the late 1990s. Yes, good stuff.
Credits were excellent. If you caught them all on the bones.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, it was amazing. So with that, then we go back to where Wade is for his birthday. He's got the toupee. He's working at a CarMax type of place with Peter.
Basically like the Enterprise, or a CarMax kind of place. Exactly. Yeah. Carvana.
Yep. So then basically the TVA gets him. We find out that because Logan died, that his universe, their universe that they're in, is essentially dying. and we get introduced to a new head of the TVA. What was his name?
Mr. Paradox, and it was Matthew I can never say the guy's name. McFadyen.
McBritish.
From
Succession.
From Succession. Thank you very much.
Got you.
Yep. Yeah. So then basically says, you know what? Because Logan's dead, we don't have an anchor, which we find out is kind of the thing. If you don't have an anchor, your universe dies, which was Logan. Sure. And then essentially he says, we're going to recruit you, though, to be part of the TVA for a better thing. You could potentially join the Avengers.
Right.
And Deadpool's eye lights up as we see like screens. And then we get essentially finding out that, no, your universe is going to die anyways. And we just want to accelerate it with a time ripper. So that's kind of the whole.
Right.
Basically, Time Ripper, his universe.
As he calls it, a holy MacGuffin to fight. Literally calls it that because that's what it is. Yeah. So as you said, it's then becomes Deadpool's mission to swap out the dead Logan with a Wolverine from elsewhere, and that's where we get the first truly great montage of this film. Joe, take it away.
Oh my God, he's trying to find all these. He's trying to find the one right Logan, and each one of them starts kicking his ass. I mean, you saw the '80s rock Logan. You saw the Logan in the brown and yellow suit, which was dope. Then you see he's walking up to a very buff, ripped Logan working on a motorcycle, and turns around and it's Henry goddamn Cavill as Wolverine.
Cavalrine.
And he's like, listen, come with me. We'll treat you way better than the guys across the street.
And then he still punches punches him through a cinder block.
I loved it. And then we finally get to him meeting the Logan that we are.
Well, do you want me to go through all the ones we met?
Because there's like so many.
So we get the comic accurate Wolverine where he goes off the bench and he's like 4. He's my height, so I can play Wolverine.
Top-sized Wolverine.
Same.
Yep. We get old man Logan basically as like a Clint Eastwood sitting on the porch, shoots him. We get the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, which is the guy with one claw. Mm-hmm. Yep. We get Patch, which is, the James Bond Madripoor spy, Wolverine. Trying to think of what else we get.
You get him on the crucified
cross. Yep. That was famous from like the early 200s, where he's there.
I assume you mean early 2000s, not in prehistory. The early 200s.
I can't believe they went with a cross
251
crucifixion. That was wild.
That's after the Reavers basically destroyed the X-Men when they were in actually the Australian outback. Yep. And then, I think that was it. And my heart fluttered because I am a Wolverine. My son's name is Logan. I'm full into this. And I'm like, I recognize each one of those. Yeah. That was amazing. I love the fact because when I thought they were going to do the one Logan, I thought it was going to be Doug Ray Scott because that was the guy that was actually first cast to be Logan in the X-Men film. So, but this nailed it and I loved it.
Right. I think the fact that this was filmed in England helped a lot of people like Henry Cavill come in for an afternoon and do that, or like just seeing a lot of Brit talent in this film had a lot to do with the fact that it was filmed at Leviston, and spots around London, definitely.
And you even got like homage to the first appearance of Wolverine, which was in Hulk 181.
Cameo in 180, full appearance in.
But with the reflection of Hulk in his claws, was amazing.
That's not what that was. That was a McFarlane cover from the 90s where you see the Hulk reflected.
Oh,
yeah, but because he was wearing the brown. But you're right. That it is very similar to what you described. The Hulk Hulk 181, his first full appearance. So anyway, sorry to get micro on you. I'll stop.
So Joe, sorry. Yeah, we just wanted to like not miss a beat because I like. Oh, that's right. Ooh, we're in.
Yeah. No, it was so good. So we finally meet the failure Logan, and he's drinking at a bar. Yeah, and that's where you kind of see the what we've seen all the TV spots, right? It's like, you come with me, no, you're not. the fact that like the guy's calling him names and he's not doing anything. He's like,
Right.
he would have, any other Logan would have kicked his ass.
And that was the same. That was the same bartender from X-Men 2000, was it not?
Oh, really?
Oh, was it?
Well, the voice sounded very similar. So that's my guess.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all my memory is taking, because I forget how Deadpool knocks him out.
He passes out. He drinks himself out.
Right? Yeah. Right. And then
he doesn't
you
care.
see him.
Yeah.
He just doesn't give a shit. Yeah. No. Then you see him like, wagoning him off, and he's already in his yellow suit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then so they both end up back at the TVA, and bad guy from Succession prunes them both while they're yapping.
Mhm.
And so then we get dumped into what is the setting of the majority of this film, which is the Fantastic Void, from which Wade almost immediately tells us, wow, you mean from Loki season 1 episode 5?
The junk pile.
The junk pile.
Junk pile.
Yeah. So this is when we get our first Wolverine, first of several Wolverine and Deadpool throwdowns, where Deadpool's stabbing the shit out of him. Deadpool loses his guns in this scene, and he doesn't get them back till closer to the end of the film. But yeah, he does where they're wrapped together and he's shooting Logan, and then all the bullets pop out in a minute, and he's got the sword stabbing him so that when the villains show up, he says, "You look ridiculous. Let me pull these out." Baby knife. We got our first baby knife.
The cameos of the cars too is pretty great. You got a Fantastic Four, the Fantastic Car.
Yes.
You get Red Skull's stretch car in there too. You get Toad along with the ride. You got Sabretooth doing the Furiosa.
You've got the big. It's the big man, but all the motorcycles are the Hydra cycles from Cap 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
got it. Okay. Yeah.
And I love what they say too. Deadpool goes, wait, is this like a Mad Max world? Are we allowed to do that? That's a different IP.
Yeah, right. And it's even more hilarious when Sabretooth meets his end and Deadpool's walking around with his head. And he makes a Furiosa joke, which is particularly grating because that movie was a bomb this summer and hurt all of our movie brackets. So that kind
it was great. It was a great movie.
I loved it.
Yeah, definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, the full-on monologue, but this is great because we get a full-on Wolverine finally in costume, and they're like, "Oh, we're ready for the Sabretooth Wolverine battle," and it is like over in 2 seconds, which was great.
Exactly.
I'm like, sure, why not?
And he identifies him as your brother, which kind of is a giggle because that was not a part of that X-Men 2000s movie.
Yeah, no Liv Shriver showing up either. What the hell?
But we do get our first great cameo is Chris Evans as Johnny Storm from Fantastic Four 2005.
So good.
That fooled everybody because he does like the hero landing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's absolutely great. So we get Johnny. No mention of what happened to his 3 teammates, but you're assuming they're also dead. All 3 of them get captured, and now they're going back to meet our big villain, who lives in the dead skeleton of Giant Man. Oh my God. Great Paul Rudd joke there. Hey, Paul Rudd finally aged. But then they get let in, and it's more cameos. And Todd, these are ones that I couldn't pick out, but fortunately they're all here. In there, we get a new guy playing X3's Juggernaut. We get Aaron Reed. Yep. We have somebody else playing the Blob, which I barely picked out because it's not what's his ass. The guy.
It's not Kevin Durand. No.
Yeah, it's not Kevin Durand. Rob McElhenney, who is the business partner of Ryan Reynolds in real life, his part got cut. It was cutting room floor, so that's been a.
So wait for the release.
But he was one of the TVA guys that he kills.
No, that was what got cut.
Oh, damn.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
That ended up. Okay. We get a 1-2. We get Kelly Hu as Deathstrike,
Deathstrike,
and then Ray Park as Toad. Those are some of the bigger
Tyler
ones.
Maine of Sabretooth. Yeah, he came back too. So we didn't get a lot. I mean, there was a lot of other people in the background that you saw that I couldn't really put a finger on who they were.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, so you've got, the big bad is finally revealed as Cassandra Nova, which they did a great job of just, I'm Xavier's sister. We were in the womb. I tried to kill him. That's exactly what happened in the new X-Men run from like the year 2000, which is a great run. I'm glad they brought that character in because she is a badass. She's a mean ass lady and not very good.
Absolutely.
And she has all of the abilities of Charles Xavier plus telekinesis, which is Xavier only has basically basic telepathy, but basically she's like Jean Grey plus Professor Xavier, so amazing. And essentially she runs,
and she's immortal, which I noticed at more than one point she was shot fatally and stabbed, and she can't die.
And I don't know if they covered that in the comics or not, but great person brought in. Yeah, she likes living in the junk pile and essentially doesn't want anyone disrupting that. And that's where we kind of, and because of that, there is a great sequence which is covered into the Stinger, which is essentially Wolverine sells out Johnny Storm. Or Deadpool sells out Johnny Storm.
Right. And she rips his skin off.
Yeah. That was the most, I think, the most graphic part of the film. And that selling out Johnny Storm will come back around again later in the film. Yes. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah. And Pyro essentially he didn't get to do anything cool. Pyro just sucked all the fire out of him.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and
he landed on his nuts.
Yeah, and so it was kind of interesting that he landed on his nuts and did a head snap, and then he was totally fine. But yeah, so our guys do manage to escape after from the Ant-Man fortress.
Well, I love how they introduce her. This is one of my favorite jokes. Is first she's in the wheelchair, and then like she gets up and he's like, really? The wheelchair? Very ableist of you. The woke mob's not going to like that.
He also did
Cable a racist. Yeah.
Just like earlier in the film when he was talking to Buck at his birthday party saying, those are my views on climate change and this thing and that thing. And so they were,
no more.
No speaking lines for you, Buck. So then our people escape.
Well, they escape with, how do they escape?
They grab the leg from Sentinel, which I had to look at.
Yes.
They do.
That's when I took a bathroom break and I asked Logan, hey, what happened? He goes, they got a leg and flew away. I'm like, well, what leg? That's how much of a geek I am.
Oh, boy. And your son was probably like, shut up, Dad.
Nerd.
So now they end up on, the English plane, obviously. And that's when they meet the other beautiful star of this film, Dog Pool, winner of the Britain's Ugliest Dog, runs up and followed by Nice Pool. That would be just Ryan
first
Reynolds. Yeah, first long flowing hair.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. My wife will be very fond to point out that due to my growing up in Southeast Michigan, I say sorry a lot due to the proximity to Canada. So that was a chuckle. But yes,
on that before, Joe.
It's true. It's all true.
Sorry.
But anyway, sorry about that. Nice Pool very nicely lends them his Honda Odyssey, which cracks me up. I drove one of those when my kids were young, and you know what? It's a very nice car.
Man, Honda had to love that publicity.
The great part about that is like, and it's great writing on this. It's like a callback to him working at the auto like CarMax because he knows all the really weird, obscure facts about the Honda Odyssey, and he's very like excited about it.
Apparently, a Kia fan though.
Honda. It's like Honda knew that chlamydia was coming back, and they invented this version of the Odyssey to compete. Anyway, they drive off. They're trying to get to the borderlands because that's where the resistance is, and it finally happens that it's revealed.
No. We've got to get into one of the best scenes of the movie, which is the Odyssey fight. So basically, Wolverine stops the car because Deadpool says, "Oh, it was what was it? Wishful? No, it was like hopeful wishing,
educated wishing."
Yes,
because Deadpool
educated wish.
Deadpool
educated wish.
Had convinced Wolverine that the TVA could fix his planet or his timeline, and when it's revealed that was bullshit, then they have an over 12-hour fight where they're stabbing and killing each other, and then they finally tucker themselves out, and a pair of boots walks up, jumps in their car, and drives their car off with them in it, obviously.
Great song to fight to as well.
Oh, the great.
Which one was it?
It was You're the One That I Want from Greece.
Yes.
Oh my God. But yes, now they end up in the Resistance HQ, and get ready for the cameos that nobody knew about. Joe, who did we get?
Oh my God. So first we get Elektra.
Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner.
No
Deadpool
Benifer
asks,
though. No Benifer.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love this. Like, where's Daredevil? Let's not get into it.
No, she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. He's dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. It's fine."
Then we get Wesley goddamn Snipes.
Oh my God.
As Blade.
He drops he drops the R word too, which is
exactly. I thought Blade. I thought you were Wesley. I thought you were retired. Oh, sorry, retired. He's like. I'm like, I'm already in the void. I don't need to get canceled again. I loved that line so
and he also brings back the line, MFers still trying to skate uphill.
Yeah, right. Oh
I can't wait for it because he has the best line when they're driving to the place. Anyway, and then last but not leastly, or not really, not last but not the ones we didn't know about. We get Gambit. Channing Tatum's Gambit, and I loved how they played with his accent because like Channing Tatum is a really good comedic actor,
right?
And so it's like in the beginning I'm like, that voice, and then as soon as you think about it, Deadpool makes the reference of like, that's a really thick accent you got on there, bud. And I love at a point where you get where you get fed up with it. He's like, who's your dialect coach? The Minions?
Oh God, I loved it.
I'll throw a card and then go boom.
I come out of my daddy's ball sack.
Bonjour. Straight out of there. Yeah.
Bonjour. And then we get
because that was go ahead.
Yeah, and then we get X-23 from the
Laura.
We assume a variant of the one from the Logan movies.
Because she's all grown up and freshly dead from the alkalite.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry, Jackie Moon.
That's whatever.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
I do love the fact that they embraced the fact that Channing Tatum was always, they talked about wished into existence. He was going to be Gambit. It was going to happen. And that was a through line. Basically, he didn't exist, but he was really pruned.
I don't know why I'm here. Yeah, exactly. I don't think I've ever been anywhere else. So anyway, all right.
Sometimes you were never born.
So they have their yucks. Wolverine acts like he's not going to go with them for the big fight, but he does. And then Joe, as you had mentioned, there's a beautiful line as the Honda Odyssey is approaching the fortress. What does Blade say?
Well, first there's a part where X-23 and Logan are talking in a fire.
The heart
they're having like a heart to heart of like, hey, what happened to your Wolverine? And he explains it, and then she's always like, you were always the wrong guy, but you always come back in the end. Like that's what you do, and that's what he does. And then they're like, okay, so listen, we're gonna give these two a shot to kill her.
Yep.
And so we are all going to die. We're all going to get our endings.
Yep.
They are driving the Honda Odyssey to the gates of the Giant Man Fortress. And Blade yells out, something along the line, ain't nobody else like me. There's only going to be one Blade. There'll always only be one Blade.
One Blade.
Right. And at this point, he might be right.
Exactly. And gives like a wink.
Yeah.
It was great.
Oh my God.
And then another good fight. The one thing that I don't want to gloss over too is like the movie is not just hilarious, but like it is also action packed. There are so many really well choreographed fights.
Right. Great fight scene. That's obviously what we get into in the fortress.
Yeah.
We
see Gambit's abilities and they're dope.
Right.
Oh, they're amazing. The cards coming out, planting cards on people, and he goes, explode. And
it was good. So anyway, we do get obviously.
And we have her in X-23 in the sunglasses.
Oh, so great.
And that made my heart grow like 3 times.
Oh. You know who else we forgot? Azazel. Azazel.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Which okay, so
fight. Yeah, that was a great fight between him and Blade because he was like morphing and bamfing around, and I really thought that was good. Yeah, I mean, we got to see everybody's abilities really stand out. Really good fight scenes, and then we, the quest was to basically, how do you stop her? Well, there's no Magneto helmet, and Deadpool gets pissed off about that. What? No, no,
Yeah,
we spent all this money, we couldn't get Magneto.
Yeah,
so they have to
right.
get Juggernaut's helmet, is essentially to stop her from using her abilities.
Juggle nuts, exactly. Which Laura does manage to defeat him, get the helmet. We then have the showdown in the upper tier of the fortress where it's Cassandra and then Deadpool and Wolverine. Laura manages to toss the helmet up. They get it on her head as she's having the scene with. We're getting the great third act exposition of what Wolverine's great sadness is, which Deadpool quipped about back in the diner right before they met in Ice Pool. He had walked out on the X-Men, and while he was at a bar somewhere, all the X-Men got killed by the PLFO or one of these anti-mutant groups, and then he just went berserk and just started killing people nonstop for the last 20 years. That was his darkness. But they managed to shut her down, but then Pyro shows up with a gun, and I love this line. He shoots her, and she appears to be dying, but she's still wearing the helmet at that point. So that's why. Maybe when her powers are inhibited, she becomes mortal. So that's why. But once it comes off, she heals. But I do love that Wolverine, as Pyro is talking, saying, "I'm so sick of being underfoot," that Wolverine just cold cocks him and says, "Not everybody gets a speech."
Yeah,
like that. Good.
Not
stuff.
Everybody gets a limited series on Disney Plus.
Boba Fett. Nobody else gets your shit. So anyway, but yes, at this point, they take the helmet off. She heals and says, "You know what? You guys saved my life, so I'm going to hook you up." She has Doctor Strange's sling ring. She says, "This guy came through. I killed him and wore his skin," which I thought, oh, why? Jeez, Benedict Cumberbatch, he seems so nice.
Summer fashion, Charlie. Summer fashion.
I guess. So anyway, we get a great line. She puts on the sling ring and opens a portal so they can get back to Deadpool's universe. But he says, what was the line he said to describe the sparkle, super magic? It was Marvel Magic Sparkle. I can't remember.
Something like that. Something along the lines. Yeah.
So they go to jump, and it's right as Eliath, the universe killer, is coming. So it's a race against time. And ostensibly, we think that all of our other characters, Elektra and Blade and Laura, that they all got swallowed by Eliath, but we'll get back to that later. So our guys jump through. They arrive back on Deadpool Street with the subway station, which is where Secession Guy and his people are finishing the Time Ripper thing. So it's just right there. And so now it's total final showdown time. Todd, what happens next?
Well, Cassandra Nova says, "I'm pissed off. You changed the deal." She goes into what's his name's head?
Secession Guy.
Finds out what to do. Basically, she's going to destroy all the universe because she just wants the junk pile to be her place and no one to bother her again.
Right.
So, but to stop them, to make sure that no one gets in the way, she essentially brings in a horde of Deadpool variants.
The void. Yeah, she pulls in 100 Deadpool variants from the void, and get ready for a bunch of faceless cameos and voiceovers.
Sorry. You got Nice Fool.
He comes first with the dog, and we get one of my favorite songs, which is "Lose Control" by Eric Carmen. We get it again as the dog jumps into Deadpool Prime's arms and gives him lots of lerps.
I love when they all start shooting and Deadpool uses Nice Pool as a human shield, and he's getting riddled with bullets, and they get down to the car for cover, and he's like, well, it's a good thing you have healing abilities. He's like, well, you have healing abilities?
Yeah, exactly.
As he's just like barfing up blood.
Yeah, and he's using him for cover, and he's like, "You're gonna make it, buddy," and then his head explodes. Deadpool says, I can taste his final thoughts.
Well, I'll tell you, he just gets by on his good looks, not his abilities. Apparently.
Yeah, well, he did. So anyway, but yeah,
he gets his guns. That's more important. He gets the Golden Desert Eagles.
We get he gets the Golden. But it's in this point that we get the great voiceover. We get Lady Deadpool as the first Deadpool variant we see. It settles the argument. I was incorrect. I said it was going to be Taylor Swift. Turns out it was Blake Lively, Mrs. Ryan Reynolds. But we also get two of the Deadpool children, Baby Pool and Kid Pool, are also Ryan Reynolds kids. Absolutely.
His kids. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Baby Pool had me dying because when they looked at him, I swear to God, the thought was, do we have to kill Deadpool baby? Is it evil if we kill Hitler baby? You know what I mean?
Didn't get covered. Headpool, quick, couple more. Headpool, which is just a floating skeleton head, is Nathan Fillion. and the cowboy Deadpool was McConaughey.
Yes.
Yeah, Sean, I went to see with Sean Nias, and he called it in advance. He's like, I think that's Matthew McConaughey. I'm like, oh, good catch.
Nice.
Before the trailer. And last one was Welshpool, which Paul Mullen, which is a player for Wrexham.
Right.
Which
he
they
was wearing the jersey. Yeah, he was wearing the jersey.
Oh, nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, big slug out. It was fun, and it's at this point that we're getting into Battle Royale that Logan gives us what we've always wanted. The great mask up over, which was apparently there the whole time. But
I cheered.
Yeah,
I cheered.
Now, was it a little bit too CG'd? Yes.
Did I
really
care?
care?
He had the same milky white.
But did I care?
Eyes. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Didn't matter.
I thought it looked pretty damn good. I was so excited.
I thought it was consistent with Deadpool's look with the eyes, and I thought that sold it. So anyway, we get a fun, gratuitous blood and guts fighting scene where they appear to kill all of the Deadpool, and then they get the two of them shatter a bus window, and Deadpool doesn't stick the landing, and then he says, all that anybody's going to remember is that I bopped the landing.
See, we're proving him right.
Exactly. But it's at this point that all the Deadpools regenerate, and so it looks like the fight's going to start again. Well, who shows up, Joe?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Who shows up to stop all the regenerated Deadpools?
Oh, okay. Peter
and the Deadpool suit from his locker. Yeah, and Peter is the rallying cry. There's a Peter in every Deadpool universe, apparently, and his arrival stops the fight cold, and now we're all on the
same. And the one thing that all these Deadpools have in common, the thread that keeps them together, is they all love Peter.
He's their anchor,
Yeah. So now our guys are able to run down and confront a Succession guy, and Cassandra Nova at this point has plugged herself into the Ripper to effect her evil plan, but our guys can stop it by doing a Star Trek and interrupting the matter and antimatter, but it will kill either one or both of them. Yeah. So they
one
have
of them. Kill one of them.
They're
very clear about that. They'll kill one of them.
They have the classic fake out where Wolverine wants to make the sacrifice. Deadpool doesn't let him. Deadpool he hits him on the back with a fire extinguisher and locks the door, and then he does the classic swimming, or he does the flying, and then the walking down the stairs in the elevator, like all from the bits from Wayne's World. And
Spock.
He does the Spock. Or maybe Spock, I don't know. And so Deadpool does try to do it on his own, but then Logan jumps in there and they're doing it together and his shirt blows off. This was a great bit that people were hooting and hollering. When Hugh Jackman's shirt blows off and you see the world's most perfect set of abs, and then you see Deadpool stopping to admire them as they're both standing there. Even my wife and I looked at each other and said, God damn, look at those abs.
Yeah, apparently nobody wanted to see Deadpool's cancer-riddled abs.
So unsurprisingly, they managed to destroy the machine, and then we do get an inclusion of a D-15, who is a TVA agent from the Loki series, who shows up and is talking to Succession guy and saying, hey, we got a weird spike of energy here in this spot. Well, you don't know anything about that, do you? And then the Succession guy is trying to, there was this noble sacrifice and I didn't know anything about it, and blah, blah, blah. And that's when we get, we didn't even talk about the fact that Deadpool has been calling himself Marvel Jesus throughout this whole film. And so he comes out and says, he has risen, and we get, and then the two of them walk out.
Yeah, and Peter is apparently man candy.
Right. But the whole evil plot is revealed. So Succession guy is now he gets taken away, and we find out that their efforts have solidified and strengthened Earth 10005, which is the name of Deadpool's universe, is now safe. And so they all get to go home again, and our people are all at a party again. Wolverine stays with them, and so they're having a party at the end for the big outro. And the only character from the Void who has joined them and is apparently still alive is Laura. So what has
I think they're all alive. I don't think the rest are hanging out with Deadpool.
Okay.
So I think that's what it is. I think they're doing their own thing.
We'll then assume that Elektra and Blade and Gambit are also in 10005.
Till you're 90.
Till you're 90. Yeah. And
And Shatterstar came back. Like I said, in the last movie, I thought he only saved Peter because it's not like he could have done anything to save Shatterstar because Shatterstar
flew in a
hit a
helicopter.
car. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that happened,
I
but you know what?
think
Go with it.
I think in the essence, he's the one they could get back because whoever that guy is, he's not a Skarsgård. Or
it was a
Brad
favor
Pitt.
for Rob Liefeld. Save Shatterstar.
Oh, there you go.
In his Just Feet store.
And yeah, that's when things wrap up. We get a nice, meaningful glance between Wade and Vanessa, where she said, "Hey, I did it all for you," and they hold hands, and so hope for the future. And we kind of fade into the beauty of the credits. I loved these credits. We get probably a 3 to 5 minute clip of stuff from the Fox films, paying the homage, and again, as I had mentioned earlier, playing to Good Riddance, The Day of Your Life by Green Day, and it was pretty great. I loved those credits. That was pretty great.
They even included the last Fox Fantastic Four too.
Right, that was a that talk about, I would say it was a low point, but we also got a clip from the McAvoy films, including Dark Phoenix. So which one was worse?
No New Mutants, love. Come on.
Yeah, you're right. No, it's totally excluded.
I really loved what this film teased it to being, which is like, this is an MCU film. And the trick is that, no, it's still at its core, this is a Fox film, and it's celebrating the closing of the book of the Fox franchises.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you have references to the MCU, but that's all they are, is references.
Yeah.
What you really get are the send-offs to
right.
this universe. Yeah.
Right. Well done. So
because as derided as a lot of the Fox films were, Disney was not going to take these chances when they had the licenses. They would have never done these things. So like a Logan and a Deadpool, rebalancing things with First Class. And so the fact that we got those should be lauded. The fact that this now maybe has opened Disney to say, we don't have to stick with one formula. We can hit all 80 audiences and do different things.
Right, exactly. As opposed to where the MCU clearly hit that. And it even gets mentioned that, hey, when he's at the very beginning, when Deadpool is saying to the Logan, hey, you're joining the MCU. You're coming in at a bit of a low point.
I love that. Yeah, you're coming into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That was
coming in at a bit of a low point.
Exactly. So we get through the credit. Go ahead, please.
I was going to say one more point. When Wolverine finally meets Blind Al, he's like, you call her Blind Al? Well, she's blind.
Oh God! And then between Blind Al and Deadpool, with all of the slang terms for cocaine, Feige says we can't do it. Or when he walks out of the in the beginning, when he walks out of his apartment talking to the TVA reps and talking about pegging, I know what pegging is, but Fox doesn't. Wink. Oh,
Disney, not Fox.
Disney. Oh,
Fox
sorry.
knows about
Fox
it.
knows all about it.
Rupert Murdoch, come on.
Anyway, Joe, tell us about the after credit scene.
Oh, the after credit scene. So Wolverine has guilted Deadpool that, like, hey, Deadpool, you talked a whole bunch of shit about,
Johnny,
and you got him killed. And he's like, no, he really said all that stuff, because he said a whole bunch of Deadpool insulted her a whole bunch and said that Johnny said those things.
And right before he got
exactly
blood banked.
And so it's Deadpool back in the TVA, and he's rewinding the clock back, or like the video, quote unquote, video evidence of when they were locked up in the Mad Max car together. Right. And it is Chris Evans saying the most heinous stuff, vulgar stuff out of his mouth.
Yep.
And set her on fire and Husk F and Husk F her corpse and juggling juggernauts.
Like semen, and it was very gross. And he's like, "Told you, you're a kid too," at the very end, and then bam, and credits. Now apparently this is the last Deadpool movie. He said he's not going to do another one.
Oh, I had not heard that definitively, but didn't Hugh Jackman say the same thing about Wolverine?
Exactly. I don't think they need a movie, but definitely could see them
doing a special
cameos or something.
Yeah, so exactly. I truly think. Because there's another joke where every time Deadpool's about to die or he's having a dream, he's like, Thor. He sees a monitor at the TVA of him seemingly dying, who knows, in the arms of Chris Hemsworth.
Right, exactly.
And Thor's crying over him.
Right.
So,
and that was of course just recycled footage from Thor the Dark World where Loki was dying.
right.
Yeah.
But
So
this time with
April asked
Deadpool,
me about it, said that they didn't really look like him. I said no, it was real footage, but
yeah. So
well,
I don't know.
cool.
Maybe there is. I think when it comes to like Deadpool or Wolverine, I think like Secret Wars is probably where they're going to.
Yeah, I get the feeling. All right.
Very much for Wolverine.
Point of procedure. Should we have one Discord question? It happens to be from our partner Mark. Do we read that before we give our final wrap up, or do we give our final wrap up and then read that?
Let's give our review and our final score, and then we'll answer Mark's question. All
right, very good. Okay, so I will conduct, and I'll go from my left to my right. Joe, out of 10 baby knives, 10 baby pool knives, how do you rate this film and why?
I'm honestly giving it a 9.5. 9.5 baby knives. Because like when I walk into a Deadpool movie, I'm not here to like see, even MCU in itself. I'm not here to go like, this is gonna be my favorite movie this year. This is gonna be insightful or whatever. It's like, no, this is the epitome of a hot, a popcorn flick, a fun time that gets you to whatever escape. And that's exactly what this was. This is definitely the best Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
It had me laughing from literally like start to finish. And then like there was really great action and fan service that felt earned. And even like the fourth wall break. So like, the Sabretooth Wolverine fight. Like that was like something we've always wanted to see. The Hulk and, Wolverine tease. That's something we've wanted to see. So like they did a lot to say, here, fans, this is us celebrating both of these characters. We don't know if we'll ever see him again. You don't know if you'll ever see him again. So let's put them in the positions you always wanted to see. So yeah, I think the jokes, all of it landed really well, and I was very surprised at, it very much was self-aware of like the MCU strengths and weaknesses. It wasn't like a comedian talking around a subject not to, offend that subject. Like they didn't care. And I really, really loved that.
Yeah.
To have the, you're coming out at a little bit of a low point, or like the Blade joke. Like, that's awesome.
They took all the swings. Most def.
Yeah.
All right, Todd.
9.5 for Joe. I'm thinking the 9.5 for me. I mean, I think I'm giving a Doc and a point because no brown costume, really. That's what I love. So the yellow and the blue has never been my favorite. But I will say that, yes, this is the best Deadpool film. But quite honestly, it's the best Wolverine film as him being a superhero, not being like old guy, regretful, staggered. A lot of the films he's been like hampered by like, oh, he's poisoned, he can't use his abilities, or he's in X-Men second class, like, or sorry, second class.
Definitely second class.
That's Dark Phoenix, sorry. But X-Men, Days of Future Past, where he's like having bad flashbacks, so he's never reliable. This was Wolverine in his prime, doing superhero stuff, looking badass, amazing, and a threat, wearing the mask. So for me, this was like prime Wolverine, Deadpool team up, great covering all of these things, great points of like humility, and with them both revealing some things about themselves. Man, great balance. So a 9.5 for me as well.
Well, I'm gonna go full fanboy. Perfect 10. Perfect 10. Blammo. I'll give it back that half point. In terms of pure enjoyment, again, echo what you said. Best Deadpool film. Love what Todd said. This was Wolverine he went from full on suicidal, reluctant hero to figuring out his life's purpose the same way that Deadpool does in this. That he doesn't want to. It's not okay with him that the TVA wants to old Yeller his universe, in his own words. So yeah, just seeing him being heroic while also being disgusting. All of the nods and the winks and the proper send-off and the love to what Fox both did and didn't accomplish with these characters. and just howlingly funny. We've seen it twice. We saw it yesterday in IMAX, which was in the old school shoulder to shoulder. I was like, I don't really like not being in my cozy recliner, but you know what?
Yeah.
It was great in IMAX to see the shattering glass flying at you, or the sword fling at you, or the.
So you saw it in 3D. That was the 3D part, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So I thought in 3D too, because we apparently had the wrong tickets, the wrong theater.
Oh, boy.
So not me, Sean. I mean, we recovered quickly, but apparently AMC screwed us over and thought we were in a different theater. So we recovered. Sean was a champ. Figured it out.
Good lad.
3D was cool, but we were in recliners. We didn't do the IMAX. We just
our first showing is we see everything is in 2D recliner. So if I was to see it again, which who knows, I might, I would see it in a 2D recliner. But anyway,
that's how I watched it.
Yeah, perfect 10. Best way to wrap it up. Okay, let's read Mark's question before we wrap things up altogether. I will do the honor since I was the one who copy and pasted this too. Mark's question from today. I haven't seen it. Mark, as you know, has a 4-year-old son, so that makes it difficult to get out and see R-rated movies. But after you saw it, are you looking forward to more R-rated MCU content, or does Deadpool hold a special place in your heart in the broader MCU? On the flip side of that, seeing Deadpool's official MCU debut being rated R, can you imagine the character in something like Avengers 5 without R-rated dialogue and action? Would it take away anything having to tone him down, or would DP just make a wall-breaking joke about it being directly to us and a high five a confused Spider-Man? All right, yeah, Joe. We'll go left to right. Joe, you first.
We'll see him in more stuff. I don't know if I think open to the idea of like R-rated a little bit. I think one of the Echo was or whatever.
Yeah, more mature.
True.
I think this is going to open them up to more, and hopefully that also breaks away from some of the more playful like writing that people I don't mind. Don't like. So yeah, I think maybe we can explore the rating scale. It would be mostly PG-13.
Big audience. Todd.
Yeah, I think you need a bunch of content for Marvel to make sure it's Punisher and a PG-13 thing doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah.
He's not a good guy and does bad things. Yeah. I also think I know the Blade was supposed to be R-rated as well, but I think it makes sense. And in is quite honestly, you to make it make sense, keep it PG-13. Talks about the fact that now everything he says it's a bad dub over. Like, when they edit movies for it's wrong.
When they say
maybe do that.
When they say Mickey Ficky instead of MF, yeah.
Exactly. And I think if he does something hours and it's like play with it in a way that makes sense, and Deadpool says, but I've got all these awesome new effects that make it pretty cool anyway.
Yeah.
And I think he just becomes like, because he's a good they played around with the fourth wall as well.
Yeah.
So maybe Marvel fourth wall breaking movie that everybody's playing with is the leader of Man-Thing and Howard the Duck. I'll hang out.
Right. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I agree that I don't know that I could see Deadpool in another film. I feel like this is the nice cap on it. But yeah, to bring him back with a little funny ha-has, and Todd, you nailed it with the She-Hulk and Howard the Duck, plus Rom the Space Knight. I don't know. Ooh, Rom the Space Knight was a nice total cyber, nice figure, Marvel Legends figure drop. From San Diego, so that's one of the few that I'll get. But anyway, yeah, I could see it be Mark. You nailed it. Wall breaking joke with him giving a high five to Tom Holland Spider-Man. That works for me. All right, or Kamala Khan. All right, well with that is the end of this king size show. I love it when we can run long with purpose, not just babbling. And the purpose I put to Mr. Joe Moran. Joe, it was so great to have you here, my brother. Got to do it more often. Where do people find you out there?
You can find me on the trophy room. First off, I love this film, and I love just getting to recap it with. So celebrate RDJ comeback. Oh my God, there's so much.
My God.
Woo.
My God.
Oh, my God. You can find me over at the Trophy Room. It's a place the players for the players, where me and my best friend Kyle, he said the opening credits with Deadpool moment of the MCU. He absolutely loved it.
swinging around the skull by the spinal cord.
Exactly. All things PlayStation, each and every recorded live on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. and then the very next day on podcast services. Stars really does help us out. All that good stuff. As well on youtube.com/PS But yeah, podcast. And like always, guys, it's been a pleasure. Y'all about stuff.
As always, Joe.
I love it. Todd.
You can follow me on the threads at Toxtra, at Secret Friends Unite. Join us there. Check out our Discord. Check out our Patreon for all things awesome. And please, if you're not a Patreon member, sign up for trial and join our community podcast on August 1st. All Patreons are invited to that. We're going to have a good time. Talk about all the geeky stuff. Have a good time. Maybe have a topic and maybe play a game.
That would be fun. I love it. And you can also find me out there on the threads and Instagram at the C3 TheCeeThree. Hope you wrote it down. I love being on our Discord as well. That's where a lot of the fun is happening. On the Star Trek side, April and I do head up United Trekkers of Michigan. Just another Discord where it's fun to talk about Star Trek. You don't have to live in Michigan, but I had to call it something. Would love to see you there. Swing on over and join us up if you'd love to talk about Star Trek. All right, friends, one more time, thanks for joining us. This has been awesome. Joe, great to see you. I'm going to tell you as always that sharing is caring and to keep on trucking.
Be the hero, not the villain.
In a truck.
It's over, bub.
A Cybertruck.
Snicked.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and podcast services around the galaxy, as well as video on our YouTube channel. You can support Secret Friends Unite by becoming a Patreon member, get bonus programs and more over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Join our Discord community for even more discussions on all things geek. For all the latest updates on Secret Friends Unite, make sure to follow us on threads at secret.friends.unite and visit secretfriendsunite.com. Find our merchandise at TeePublic and Redbubble. Thanks for listening, and may the Force live long and prosper.